We just watched Glass. This is a really highly anticipated movie for me. I hope for you, right? Was it?
Yes!
Really? How do we feel about the movie? First off, I gotta say, there was a lot of things I was predicting ahead of time. Because that's what I do in a Shyamalan movie. Like, what's he gonna do? And the three main things, which I'm not even gonna bring up, unless we do like a spoiler later, but the three main things that were really worrying me didn't happen in this movie. And I was like, thank God. I'm not going to reveal those things because if that's something that you want to happen, I don't want to spoil it for you. Well, so this is going to be non-spoiler, by the way.
I will do my best.
Secondly, I do think Shyamalan always has amazing vision. His cinematography, always good.
Oh, like, yeah. Just a beautifully shot film, no question.
Not quite as good as Unbreakable in terms of like shooting and stuff, but it's still, it's on par with Split in terms of its cinematography. Yeah. And yet again, James McAvoy, like,
steals the show.
Tour de force. Like, it just incredible.
Like the way he can change,
it's pretty.
His acting range from doing one completely different role and accent to another. Yeah. I don't think anybody else can do that today.
And they really find a way to utilize that, especially with the lights.
With the lights,
how like each character can come into the light like by using lights. And I feel that interesting.
And it feels like all of those were one shot as well, like constant.
Yet again, M. Night Shyamalan's directorial vision, there's a lot of like one shot takes that are they're very long. Some really awesome, like amazing stuff that I've seen in the previews and I've seen clips on YouTube, but it just doesn't. It
pales in comparison to actually sitting down in the theater
and watching it. Whenever you see it on the big screen, it looks incredible. So yeah, those are things that I really loved about the movie. And yet again, I do think that in order to get the full amount of enjoyment out of this movie, you have to see Unbreakable and Split, because it is a sequel to both. At times it feels like an Unbreakable sequel. At times it feels like a straight up Split sequel. And I like that they brought back Bruce Willis' son, the original son, the kid that played him from the original Unbreakable. I was concerned because I haven't seen him in anything, so I just assumed he's a bad actor. He's not a bad actor. And I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was going to be useless in this movie. Yeah. And there was also something that scared me about her character as well. I think you whispered it to me in the movie. But ultimately, I thought she played a decent little part in the movie, as well as Samuel Jackson's mom from Glass. That's not a spoiler. You see her in the trailer.
It's one of those movies that when you sit down and you watch it, you always when you see, now we know the Split is the second movie to Unbreakable. There's always that. There's always the cliche that the third film is either going to be really, really bad at closing off everything, or it's going to be really, really good at closing off everything. And I feel this one kind of does a middle ground. Yeah. It has its moments where you're sitting here going, okay, yeah, this really, really works in the concept of Unbreakable and Split. But then there's other times where it goes off into left field, and you're just like, did that have to happen? Did that need to happen in order to pull the story together in the final act?
I totally understand that. See, this is a movie that I've just been so concerned about for a week now. We're getting into how we feel about the movie now completely. I've been so concerned. Like, the Rotten Tomato scores at like 34, 35 right now.
Yeah, which
Metacritic 42.
I don't know what critics were expecting.
And I'm proud to say, critics be damned.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a good movie. Is it as good as Unbreakable or Split? No, but I think that it is a decent way to close out this trilogy. And I know the things you're talking about, and a lot of people like the movie, but they hate the final third.
Yeah, the third act is not, it's not on par with Unbreakable, and it's not on par with Split. And that's where I feel that possibly when he was writing this film, he had a vision for the film, and then when he got to the third act, he just got confused and convoluted and tried to make it into an even bigger universe than it needed to be. It needed to be just these three characters.
Yeah. It's unlike any other comic book movie, I think, because it is slow as hell. In terms of pacing, it's more on par with Unbreakable. I rewatched Unbreakable the other night, and I think if that movie was released today, people would, mainstream audiences would still hate it compared to like they did in 2000, because it is so slow. It like no action happens until like the final 20 minutes where Bruce Willis's character like defeats a murderer.
Well, the problem with that is the fact that, again, you're right, that audiences today would hate it because it's so slow. And the problem with that is because of the DC universe and the Marvel universe. It's all of these movies, these superhero movies, are constant flow of action. There's like a set piece of action, and there's like 10 or 15 minutes of dialogue, then another thing. Unbreakable, Split, and Glass are 90% every movie dialogue and character development and building up these stories and these characters to give you what these people are actually capable and not capable of doing. And Split, or sorry, not Split, but Glass goes off into the realm of taking it a little too far. To me, it takes it a little too far, especially when you had M. Night Shyamalan coming out and saying this is a comic book movie. This is a straightforward comic book film, which it's not. It's not at all.
Really not.
It's like I said, it's more a slow burn, and that just doesn't work with audiences.
It's
today.
Shyamalan's version of what he'd like to see in a comic book movie, which you have all the.
You have to respect that, though.
Yeah, you do. Dude, I respect this movie.
Yeah.
I think this is a really ambitious movie.
Yeah.
And
for a comic book movie, yes.
Even with that, it still has the Shyamalan tropes in it, where a lot of the dialogue seems unnatural unless you have a really good performer like James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work. It's when you have all these side characters delivering dialogue, like the nurses at the psych ward and stuff like that. Like, they're fine actors, but with Shyamalan's dialogue, it's like oh, that wasn't great. Yeah. Like, there's a scene in here that reminds me of a scene from the new Halloween, where it just shows two guys talking about useless stuff. Yeah. And of course, it does play into the plot a little bit, but it reminded me of that scene in Halloween where the two guys are talking about sandwiches in their cop car, which reminds me, yet again, critics be damned. How does Halloween 2008 get glowing reviews like it does, like at 80 on Rotten Tomatoes, and this doesn't? I think that movie is way dumber than this movie. This movie has one thing that someone could consider to be dumb in it, and whenever it first happens, I was like, I don't know, but I think the way that it resolved itself, well, yeah, especially at the very end, I found it to be satisfying and kind of sad. Like, I thought it was kind of sad.
If you wouldn't have tacked on the last, we're getting into spoiler territory now, okay? So if you just...
We can't get into spoiler.
Hold on. No, it may not be. It may not be.
You can't say anything spoiler.
Hold on. Give me a moment.
Okay.
If you did not tack on the last 15 minutes of the film after the twist, because there's a twist. We all know there's a twist.
There's a couple.
Sure.
There's a couple twists.
I mean the final twist.
Yeah, that one.
If you didn't tack on those last 10 or 15 minutes, I'd have hated this movie. I would have hated it.
If you didn't tack on?
If you didn't
you had
tack
to.
On.
You had to.
If you didn't tack on.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But you had to.
But here's the thing. Had you stopped the film at the final, finale.
Yeah.
Like
where you think there's gonna...
Where you think everything's done.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, you know what? No. Yeah. Just you've took 7 hours of my life I'll never get back for this ending of just garbage.
Yeah.
But that 10 or 15 minutes, like you said, makes up.
I think it recovers quite well. It recovers. Yes. It starts off really irritating me. I'm like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about that. Shyamalan?
I could feel the tension. I could feel the tension between you and me in the theater, because it felt like we were getting to the point where it was like.
But I can't lie. I wasn't crying or anything, but the way that the movie resolves itself, I found it to be kind of powerful in a sense. Yeah. I know a lot of people hate this ending for whatever reason, but I thought it worked, especially with stuff that was established earlier on in the movies, and there's things that you're wondering why it's setting up during the movie, like, it's like, why are we spending so much time with this character? Why that character? Yeah. And then by the end, like, it makes sense, I think. All these characters have a little bit of connective tissue, not in a spoiler way, just because they're all superhumans. Like, they're superhumans, and like, I think it resolves itself in terms of that, like, really well. I found myself like maybe a little tear coming out of my eye towards the end.
Do something new here. Best aspect of the film. What was your the best thing about the
James
whole entire
McAvoy.
Film? Okay.
James McAvoy's the best thing, because he is still the lead character, even though it's called Glass. But even with that, this is still essentially Samuel Jackson's movie.
So you say James McAvoy?
Yeah,
I agree, because
he's clearly the best thing.
In the movie.
Like, I think he should got nominated for an Oscar for Split, and he should probably get nominated for an Oscar for this, but he ain't, because the movie's got bad reviews, and it's a supernatural, like, thriller. And
worst aspect.
Worst aspect. Aside from Shyamalan's unnatural dialogue, which is really a turnoff at times. I want to say the twist at the end, but I do think it, like I said, it resolves itself so powerfully. But I think at the beginning it could have done a lot. It could have been done a lot better. Like even some of the shots, it gets very confusing to what's happening here. Like it's like, what are they going for? But then it eventually does explain itself. But there's so much exposition to have to explain itself instead of like there's. It's a spoiler. I can't even go into that. But there's a bit too much exposition for my taste at the end to have to work itself out of the hole. And I'm never a fan.
That's the problem. It dug itself a huge hole in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you had to spend 15 minutes trying to dig yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
And it kind of did it, and it kind of didn't do it.
There's 3 big twists here in the final third. Did you like the final twist? The final twist.
Oh,
the final one. There's one after the one that we didn't like. Did you like that one?
Yeah, that was fine.
That was fine too.
That was fine.
That made sense.
That made sense.
A lot of twists in this movie.
That made sense to the second twist.
Yeah.
However, the second twist didn't need to happen, in my opinion. Just didn't need to happen. There was no reason. There was no reason you could have.
How would we have got to the? How would we have got to the resolution at the end though, without that twist though? Because I actually liked the resolution at the end. I wouldn't have wanted to see that movie without the way that it ended. If I'm being honest.
Oh, you could have rewrote the whole. You could have rewrote the third act without that. You could have.
I just think they could have done it better. Like, keep the ideas. It's a good. I think it's a decent
idea.
But I don't think it's executed.
It's not executed well, and that's what I'm saying. The second act, the way it's executed and the way it's done, there's no premise to the films that set up that, and that's what hurts it.
I don't think it's out of left field though. If I'm thinking about a specific character and the actions that they've done throughout the movie, I don't think that it comes out of left field.
I didn't like that character though.
I didn't like that character either.
I didn't like that character.
I can't help but walk out of this feeling somewhat fulfilled. There was a lot of moments in here where I was on the edge of my seat. A lot of good thrilling aspects. Like I said, the actual ending made me a bit emotional because I think just visually, the way that it's filmed and the characters that are there, and the score is always good. The musical score is good. They brought back some score from Unbreakable and Split, which I loved because those scores are incredible. Yeah, overall, I did like the movie. Do I think they could have done a better job to conclude this series? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for what it is, it ain't a 34 on Rotten Tomatoes. If I'm looking at Widows has like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie's better than Widows, I think. Widows is way more baffling than this movie. Like, that's a baffling movie. Halloween, that third act dumb moment in Halloween is more baffling than anything in this movie, and I think critics are giving that a pass because
it's the first good Halloween movie in 40 years.
It's the first good Halloween movie in so long, and this is holding up to what Split and Unbreakable did, and it's not as good as that. Okay. I told myself this is a movie that I'm going to need to watch twice. Mm-hmm. And maybe watching it through different eyes this time, it might be a little bit different. I might dislike it more.
That's true.
I might like
you have the tendency to do that sometimes. You watch a movie more than once, and you're just like, nah.
But I like Split more the second time I watched it. But
Split's a freaking masterpiece compared to this movie.
I don't think it's a masterpiece. I
think Split's pretty good.
Split's like an A-. Yeah. Which I'm going to my score now for this movie. I give this movie a B+, no lie. I think this is really good. I almost loved it. I loved aspects of it.
Yeah.
Didn't love other aspects. Yep. Never flat out hated anything about it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a B+.
A B+. Okay. Yeah. I'm giving it a B. And here's why. I'm giving it a B.
Not a bad score.
Here's why. If that second twist wouldn't have happened, this movie would have got an A for me.
Listen, if this movie would have completely nailed the landing, it could have been an A+. Because as I was watching the first 2 acts, I was like, what are critics talking about? Like, this movie is good. And then
it's the third act derails the whole project.
I compare this to Bohemian Rhapsody. I know a lot of people love Bohemian Rhapsody, but what do you leave on Bohemian Rhapsody? A really good ending. What do you leave on this movie?
Do you end on Bohemian Rhapsody with a really good ending?
It's the best thing about the movie.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, the concert.
We're gonna have a Bohemian Rhapsody video.
No, we're
not with him.
No, we are not.
But both of us. And we're gonna debate that.
What's the last thing people are walking away from here? Something that they didn't want. And I think some people aren't willing to accept that.
Yeah.
But I was, especially as it played out. So yeah, I think it's all we got to say.
The third act is not good.
I think it's okay. But yeah, is that all we have to say?
If you compare that to, okay. Yeah.
If you compare it
to the rest of all the rest of the film, it's the worst part of the 3 films.
Except for the way the movie ends. I think that's just as good as any other aspect of the movie. Honest to God. I thought it was really powerful.
The more I think about it, the more I don't like it.
The more I think about it.
I'm talking about the second part.
I'm talking
about the second twist.
I'm talking about the very
derailed the whole film.
The very end of the movie. I liked it.
Still feels like it feels derailed. Anyway,
to an extent it did, yeah. But that's how we feel about the movie. Yet again, critics.
B+, B, go watch it.
Critics, I think they're wrong on this one. It's not a perfect movie, but man,
it's not a perfect movie, but it's not an F.
42 on Metacritic.
It's not an F.
No way. I saw somebody give this a 0 on Metacritic. I was like, how? Like the cinematography alone is worth like a 40.
You know what? The one shot of when the son walks out of the psychiatric hospital,
Amazing.
and the camera just stays on the shot, but it pans itself and it's upside down.
It reminded me of that scene in Black Panther when Killmonger comes in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that alone gives it a 1.
No, a 10, if you ask me. But yeah, if you really like and love the first 2 movies, don't listen to critics. Go watch this movie. It's good enough. It's good enough.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not a masterpiece, and it's not a Shyamalan classic where you're sitting there going, "Oh my God, I see dead people," and that's it. But it's okay.
And even the twists aren't mind blowing, but you're like, oh, huh. And some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we feel about the movie. Leave your comments below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you watch it? Do you want to say critics be damned like us? Let us know, and thank you for watching.